Over the weekend, nag-trending na naman something about China. This time, about the Wow China radio program on Radyo Pilipinas. Now, this is run by the Philippine Broadcasting Service, and this is an attached agency of the PCOO, the Presidential Communications Office. And this program actually is in collaboration with China International Radio. Now, just last month, there was a huge public fury and a lot of negative reaction dun sa iisang dagat na video clip released by the Chinese Embassy. Now, the Radyo Pilipinas program Wow China has a similar mission. It wants to show that we have great history, we have great bonds with our Chinese brothers and sisters, and that we have to celebrate that historical bond and that long history of harmonious relationship. Unsurprisingly, it also generated a lot of negative reaction. In fact, nag-trending yung Wow China on Twitter and on social media over the weekend. The interesting thing is that this program has been there for actually 2 years, pero parang ngayon lang siya napansin. And there are 4 reasons why ngayon lang siya napansin and why the reaction has been so negative among a lot of Filipinos. Number 1, it's a question of timing. Huwag natin kalimutan, we're still in the middle of a lockdown. The radio program is about Wow China, and yet the Philippines and much of the world is grappling with an epidemic that actually started from China and spread across the world. So some people see a little bit of a disconnect between this celebration of China as a wow factor country, and we're dealing with an epidemic that could have been better dealt with by the Chinese government. Which brings me to the second point, that the Wow China program is not by the Chinese government per se, it's not by a private institution, but actually it's by a government agency. And because it is by a government program, logically that means that it relies on the taxpayers of Filipino people. That's why maraming galit dito. Critics are saying that our own taxpayers' money is being used to allow for the Chinese worldview to be broadcasted on Radyo Pilipinas. And netizens really hammered that point. Now, the Philippine government has pushed back against that. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque said that we're a free country, we have to have a free market of ideas. This program, people can take it whichever way they want. Gusto nila mag-criticize, gusto nila mag-agree or disagree. But we should allow the free market of ideas in our country kasi may freedom of expression. As for the PCO naman, this program is actually educational. It's entertainment and education, and it's a celebration of a long period of broader relationship between us and the Chinese people well beyond the contemporary times. And ayon sa PCO, they have also collaborated not only with China but also with BBC of United Kingdom and also like Thailand's Sawasti. In fact, Chinese government's agency, the so-called Hanban, has been in charge of assigning and appointing yung mga directors and staff of Confucius Institute. So this is not a purely independent body. And across the world, in the United States, in the West and beyond, many universities are actually shutting down the Confucius Institute because they believe that this is more than just a subtle way of promoting Chinese culture, but it also promotes Chinese government propaganda. In fact, according to Ross Babaj, the former head of strategic analysis at the Australian Office of National Assessment, a leading intelligence body, the Confucius Institute could act, in fact, probably at worst as an espionage front or for actively promoting the Chinese political views, whether on issues like Taiwan, like Tibet. Some see it as nothing but an educational Trojan horse. Number 3, one reason bakit napaka-negative yung response dito sa video na yan is because of disconnect between China's behavior on the ground, especially sa West Philippine Sea. In the past few years, nag-encroach ng China into the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone, hinaharas yung ating mga ingista, among others. At the same time, this radio program, Wow China, which tries to promote and present China as a benevolent power. In fact, as one congressman put it, this is a blunder on the part of the PCOO. Specifically by Bayan Muna Representative Ferdinand Gaite. And lastly, there's a new problem actually emerging when it comes to China and its role in the world and image of China. This is the emergence of so-called China wolf warrior diplomacy. This is based on a movie, a hit, a blockbuster movie in China, and it shows a rambunctious and aggressive Chinese superheroes who stand up to the West and to the world and assert Chinese greatness. So with all of those factors, the disconnect with China's behavior on the ground in the West Philippine Sea and the image of China being projected on this Wow China program and the Isang Dagat, and in the statements of President Duterte, who always expresses his love and support for China and appreciation and gratitude to China, this disconnect has been just too much for a lot of Filipinos. So for a lot of Filipinos, parang wow China on a Filipino radio program, wow mali. Ako po si Richard Haydarian. Stand with us, stand for truth.